this is where I'd recommend you go get a dovetail saw. Now this is where I'd recommend you go speak to your teacher. Now what is a dovetail saw? Well, I'll throw one up on the screen for you to check out. Ultimately, it is a very fine-toothed, very small tenon saw. Now the reason dovetail saws are great is because they provide much higher levels of accuracy when cutting. Please go get a dovetail saw. We have a stash here at the school, so please come and see me and I'll deliver them out. We don't generally keep them out in the school generally because the blades are very weak and get damaged if you found them twisting. They're also, because of how fine the teeth are, you can't machine sharpen them, which means they're very expensive to get sharpened. So we just want to make sure that we're taking good care of our dovetail saws. The next thing we need to come through and do is to make sure we're cutting off the inside of this. Once again, guys, grab some tape. It's super important. By grabbing this tape, you're actually going through and you're giving yourself a better visual. Grab that tape. I'm putting it on the inside edge there, and then you can run this down. Now, so what you should have now is your two pieces with your tape on each side. Now, the reason we've got the tape on each side is for a visual cue. Now, you're like, well, I've already got a line there, but the tape is super important because the tape's going to help you really visualize exactly where you can and can't cut. So please, stick some tape on there. I've got mine going around so that I can see the downside edges, the sides of it as well, so that I don't end up cutting on an angle. Please get yours set up like this. Remember what you do to one, do to the other, and set it back up in your vise. Or actually, I've got mine on the bench hook, set it up on the bench hook, and this time I really want you to go through and clamp it. Now, the clamping just means that this isn't going to move on me, and that's super nice. From here, using the dovetail saw, not a tenon saw, but the dovetail saw, come through and set your mark up here. Now, I'm going to come through and very cautiously Now, what I want you to see is that I've cut just down to the line that we've just scribed in with our marking gauge. As you can see, I've cut just down to that line there and I haven't gone any further. I've stopped, if anything, just above it. It's better to stop above it than below it. Do that to one side, then flip it over and do it to the other, making sure to only go down as far as where that marking gauge line is. I've also been very intentional to make sure that my cut is going flat down it so that as my blade's coming down, it's not angling, it's coming very flat. And that just means that when I go through here, I'm gonna have a nice steady cut going the whole way. Like so. As you can see here, this one's got just a little bit further to go. I'm actually gonna leave that because I'll deal with that later. And these are pretty much perfect because I don't want to overshoot and cut too far into my project. Alrighty, so here we are, we've got our two pieces with the outsides cut. We want to go through and we want to just cut this center line through here, once again stopping above the tape. I'm once again going to recommend that you clamp your piece down because once again, life becomes a whole lot easier when you don't have to worry about holding things in place. Let's come through, and this one you don't have to be as accurate with. So we've come through and we've got our lines cut just down to our mortise line on both sides there and there.